Hello everyone, and welcome to my ULTRAKILL 100% playthrough. This is 2S, I don't know the name, so it's just 2S. And it's actually my first time. Have fun. Heavy steps, rapid breathing. There isn't much time left. It might already be too late. Oh, the labyrinthine pathways of arbitrary sharp turns seem stranger and stranger as panic brought out. Those are the ones deeply read memories that usually guide. Every corner felt like stranger, every straight line too long. The bell was for me. I bit down harder than the last of my rashes, held only by the skin of my teeth. It barely hung on as I kept frantically looking around, hoping for a few scraps of burning memory of mine to find familiar sight and lead me salvation. The gates must be closing by now. The last few barely making it. The rest of us missed the chance. Suddenly, from a blind spot, a figure struck me. There was no time to react before it came crashing down onto the cold, hard ground. Damn, we getting low? Or is it lower? I struggled to regain my senses, to at least see what fate would befall me in our final moments. But even in this abyss of endless terror, my mind could never have imagined the horror I witnessed. Ha! Ha! Hmm. Finally, the developer went mad. Good to know. Oof, ouch, these things. You okay? Well, he's got another best on blind by chilly asshole keep my skirt and decorated dirt holding, so all in all, fucking fantastic. Doesn't prefer not to be on the ground right now. But sure, I could use some help understanding what the fuck you're on about. Hey, sorry about being really late. I was really frustrated and not only late for school, but also managed to get lost on the way there. Though by the looks of it, you're pretty much on the same boat, and by stroke of once in a lifetime luck, you just happen to both the prettiest girl in town. What the fuck? How about you lead the way and get both of us out of this jam? I'm lost too. Just my luck. No, in retrospect, I guess you wouldn't be here with me right now if you were in Oslo. Ah well, no point in crying over spilled blood. I don't think that's how it goes. We might as well just wait for a student to come by and follow them instead. And Mirage, don't bother telling me your name, though. I don't really care. Mirage, please spare my balls. What the fuck? Just waiting here won't get us anywhere. We should be looking for a way to school. What are you around like headless chickens? We're gonna get even more lost. Since we're both heading to school and ended up making right here, that means there's a very high likelihood that this spot is somewhere along the way. Therefore, we're better off just staying put and waiting for someone who doesn't know the way. It's basic logic. You should look it up sometime, retard. Damn. So ULTRAKILL has no two rifles, huh? I guess everybody else is drawing view on his own life. Whatever. Anyone who knows the way will already have gone there, so it sounds to me like you're just looking for an excuse to give up. Ha! Can't give up when I tried in the first place. And I don't make a habit of trying. Why not? Because nothing matters. Edgy. Nothing matters. I just wanna punch demons. I just wanna get high cyberbrain scores. There's no point in trying if the end result will be the same anyway. Try as you might, you'll eventually be called forgotten dust in the wind like the rest of us. I mean, really, take a moment to think about it. The human mind, in its complete vastness, is capable of recognizing its utter helplessness and uselessness in the face of inevitable and avoidable non-existence, but is incapable of coming to terms with it. We can only ever ignore it, hide from it, or temporarily escape from it. But the fact is that we are bound to the way of all things. Death is unavoidable, not only to us, but all that exists, or ever has existed. Every living being will eventually die out. Every speck of matter will eventually wither away and dissipate into entropy. It doesn't matter if you lived a good life or if you left a legacy behind. It doesn't matter if humanity survives for 1,000 years or dies out tomorrow. The end result is the same, the absolute nothing. And human intelligence is far beyond that of other animals, but it would be misguided to consider that a gift. All our beings have the gift of ignorance, of not understanding what we do. Our intelligence isn't a gift, it's a flaw. It's an overextension of evolution. Intelligence, once a great feature in eons past, continued to grow unchecked and unfiltered, and has since passed a threshold whereupon it is no longer a benefit, but an active danger to its cause. Man, you think I'm fucking stupid. Much like the Irish elk, a species survived that through uncountable generations of evolution. It grew antlers so wide and vast that it could no longer outrun predators, eventually leading to extinctions. Huh, wait shit, yeah, I've heard that happen. Huh, sorry. The human mind is an evolutionary maladaptation caused by going too far in a direction that was only beneficial and will sooner or later lead to our extinction. On an individual level, it's already happening. The existential dread is already taking hold. I'm sure you felt it too. The pain and fear of being nothing, becoming nothing. The suffering of understanding it. We are unable to come to terms with it, so we hide from our own intelligence. We set limits. We stop ourselves from thinking deeply about what will happen when we die. We create distractions. We keep our minds busy with mundane activities and entertainment to stop ourselves from having to come face to face with the truth. We sublimate. We sublimate it. We transform our self-reflective suffering into a form, art, to keep it from consuming us. Anything to avoid the panic. But there is a way. But these ways are all simply temporary. They're just there to push back the inevitable veil of helplessness and despair. God damn it. In the end, nothing matters. There's no point in trying to find joy in life, for life in and of itself is suffering. You're wrong. Uh-huh. People just find those who consider what advantage a gift, and yet also misguide yourself to believe our meaningless is a curse. How could it not be? I mean, intelligence lets you make robots. Robots can be cute. Therefore, it's not meaningless. But nothing we do matters in the end, and that is precisely why we are not shackled by the burden of expectations, the fear of external judgment, or the failure to meet up to an arbitrary definition of what makes our limited time not wasted. Time cannot be wasted, for there is no great purpose to life than simply living it. I can definitely tell you that it would be wrong. You can waste time in a lot of ways. But still, in that case, the meaningless of our actions draws us to the conclusion. There is no reason to act, for any action is simply a temporary fluctuation that will, nevertheless, lead to the same conclusion. Quite the contrary, because we have no greater purpose, we are free to set our own, to create self-defined goals to which we strive. Like making sex balls, yeah! 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 I'm sorry, I just don't know what to say, really. I'm having an Evangelion crisis of life in a video game about shooting demons. In a virtual novel, did you know? What do I do? For some, it may be nothing. For some, it may be pleasure. For some, it may be creation. For some, it may be improving the lives of others. It is because you have no greater purpose that time spent on goals set by oneself cannot be time wasted. In the end, nothing matters, and therefore you have no reason not to do what you want, right? And whatever illusion of greater purpose is forcing you by others, or even your own misguided thoughts. I do understand what you mean. However, that doesn't ease my fear of the end. Even if I were to try to find purpose, I would still not be paralyzed by the thought of becoming nothing. And it is that thought we're fearing. However, abandoning purpose, hope, choice, goals, pleasure, and will cannot make that thought disappear. The fear, however, can subside. Giving up is not accepting the end. It is simply accepting the fear of it. It is embracing despair rather than facing it. I see. Though as much as I'd like to embrace it, I am nevertheless struck with that paralyzing existential panic. I understand it logically, and I know there is no reason to live in that apathy. But the emotional side refuses to listen. The fear persists, and I cannot motivate myself to seek purpose, despite knowing I must. This is not true. The emotional is not controlled by the logical. However, they are interlinked. Just as the deepest and darkest depths of despair have no better reason than the logical, warping them to fit into that haze of depression, so too can reason influence and overpower emotion, regardless of how impenetrable its defense may seem. By continually forcing to subvert those creeping negative thoughts with the positive logical ones, the emotional line will eventually, slowly, gradually start to shape to fit the logical. It is not an easy job. It is not a quick job. It is. It will always feel like an impossible job, but it's just a blowjob. Well, that was all the good tension I've made. Uh, however, it can be done. With an immense amount of time, effort, and energy, it will improve. You can change. You can heal. And during the hardest times, when all seems lost and you want to give up, never forget. We will always love you. Ah, well, I'll be damned. Guess you got a good head on your shoulders after all. Hell, I'm impressed. Man, I feel like I've just shed the weight of the world off my back. Or rather, you've done that for me. And honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. You've given me a lot to think about. While sure I have a long and hard road ahead of me, I'm optimistic. For the first time in a feels like an eternity, I'm optimistic. Say, we're already way too late for schooling. It's become quite clear that by now that nobody's going to call me doctor. So how about you and I ditch that passion draining penetrate and go grab something to eat? Hey? Yeah, sure, I've got nothing more to do. You're paying though. Oh, you sneaky bastard. Alright. I do owe you one way, so what better time to cash out your this nice thing to go way the goatee couple now, eh? Aha! Oh, All-Imperfect love song is a reference to the fucking soundtrack name. Very funny, yes. I don't know what I've experienced, but I think I've experienced Evangelion. Is this just fucking Evangelion? With the lack of purpose and we just make our own purpose? Am I fucking Shinji? What? Well, philosophical thoughts are not for this series. Maybe I'll think of it sometime later by myself. I'll be seeing you in Q4. Bye.